Well, hey kids, welcome back to the channel. Rio here, and today is Wednesday. So of course now today is the next in my series of film reviews. We are continuing with my family-friendly Halloween animation series of goodies from my personal collection. And of course we are filming once again up here at Kim's Krypt Haunted Mill in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. Today we are sitting here at the Moonshiner's Shack. This is a neat set, you guys. It doesn't look like much with what you're seeing behind me, but there's all kinds of cool stuff here that moves and does stuff. There's an actor in here that'll blow your mind. Okay, so here you are. This is the Moonshiner's Shack, and like I said, I'll have information below if you guys want to come up and visit Kim's Krypt and see some of these places for yourself. Now, today we are going to be talking about a movie that I particularly love. I've watched this thing a million times, and I will never stop watching it. We're going to be talking about 2008's IGOR. IGOR. So our story takes place in the mythical kingdom of malaria. Okay. And malaria has been under a curse for generations, apparently, in which they were under this sort of like dark cloud, like isolated from the world. And their, the ruler, King Malbert, what was his name? Trying to think of his name for a second there. King Malbert makes the great decision that the way that they can keep their economy alive, they used to be a farming nation, you see, an agricultural nation. But he realized that the way to keep their economy alive was by being evil. Sure. Money is the root of, right? So now, this is an entire country that produces basically two classes of people. Mad scientists and IGORs.
Every year in the land of malaria, the most brilliant minds compete to see who is the greatest scientist of them all.
It's the 51st annual Science Fair!
And behind each scientist
Pull the switch!
is an IGOR.
Hey, faster! Pull the switch!
Whose job can be summed up in 2 words.
Yes, master.
Now, of course, one of the downsides to this sort of upstairs-downstairs society of malaria is that if you were chosen to be an IGOR, that's kind of it. IGORs have one job. Right. That's it. That's their job. They're not allowed to be anything else. They are literally held back. They'll be arrested. They'll be denied. They'll be recycled. Don't think too much about that. If they try to break their bonds and do something different. Now, we are following a specific IGOR, which, by the way, they're all named IGOR, I guess for simplicity's sake. We are following a particular IGOR, who is being voiced by John Cusack. Yes. Apropos of nothing, I adopted John Cusack as one of my little brothers recently, so good job, bro. John Cusack is the voice of our, of our main IGOR, who really just doesn't buy into this. He is the IGOR to a mad scientist named Dr. Glickenstein. And, there's a B. Dr. Glickenstein is voiced by John Cleese of Monty Python. Yes, that John Cleese.
But one IGOR is about to change everything.
Sorry, master. I was in the bathroom, had a bat stuck in the belfry, if you know what I mean.
But, so our IGOR is determined he's going to break the mold, and he's going to do something different. And his decision is he's going to make life. Okay? So here you go, it's kind of the root of the Frankenstein story.
I'm sick of being treated like just another IGOR. IGORs don't think! Ow!
Now, Igor's already made life before, actually. But he hides it. He's done it in smaller ways. He has a couple companions that hang out with him, which are great. We have Scamper, who is a bunny rabbit who is not only existentially unfulfilled with his existence, but he's immortal. It's like the meanest thing they could have done to him, I think. He does constantly try to unalive himself through the course of the movie. Again, it's not that bad, guys. It's all played on the right side of whimsy. It's all comedic. Now, Scamper is actually being voiced by Steve Buscemi. I'm sure you know who Steve Buscemi is. I'll give you a couple examples. You know, Hotel Transylvania, Fargo. He's been doing movies back to the 80s. We all know who Steve Buscemi is.
Do not yell at me.
Please pull the switch.
And then we have Brain. My favorite lines in the opening of the movie, where they talk about how, you know, Einstein's brain, the greatest brain in the world, was put into a jar. This is not that brain. And it's not. At all. Not even close. Brain is great. Brain is being voiced by Sean Hayes. You would most likely know him from Will and Grace.
Switch.
Wait, why does he get to pull the switch?
Stop. You can both pull the switch.
So you have these three characters, Igor and his two homemade companions, and they proceed to make life. What we have ended up with is a giant monster that, for whatever reason, they made female. And this is Eva. Eva is just a highlight. Eva is being voiced by Saturday Night Live alumni Molly Shannon.
I created life. Maybe I did too much.
Oh, was it? Was I too much? I was pushing, wasn't I?
And it just, the comedy of errors continues as they are trying to get Eva on board with being evil.
What now, genius?
Now, of course, it's not that easy, because we actually do have a villain here. We have another of the mad scientists. We'll just call them the Mads from now on. We have another Mad by the name of Dr. Schadenfreude. You can just make what you want of the name because it applies. And of course, he has a little Igor too, but he also has an assistant named Jekyll and Heidi. You can make what you want of that too.
I will not be beaten by an Igor.
If you were a real scientist, you would need me to help you cheat.
Dr. Schadenfreude and Jekyll and Heidi are voiced by Susan Eddie Izzard and Jennifer Coolidge. Now look, I love Susan Izzard. I have always loved everything that they've ever done in their lives. Of course, if you've seen Mystery Men, if you've seen anything. And in fact, I do believe she actually has a new movie coming out. She's doing a version of, I want to say it's a version of Jekyll and Hyde that she has coming out. That's going to be coming out time. So yes, it's a movie called Dr. Jekyll that's coming out from Susan Eddie Izzard. So I would say look for that because I'm going to probably review that when it comes out. The performances in this are so solid, right? They really, really are. There's actually a lot of really fun cameo voices too. Listen to a lot of the Igors that you see. The Igors, a lot of them are cameo voices. I don't know if I made a note of any of them because there's a whole bunch of different Igors. Like I think Christian Slater is one of them. Granted, all they ever say is, yes, master. So you have to kind of figure it out. But almost all the Igors are cameo voices, and a lot of the Mads are cameo voices as well. And they only have like that one line, pull the switch, yes, master. But they're all cameos, people that popped in and did it. And if you're really clever, you'll recognize some of the voices. You might figure it out, I don't know. But just everything about this movie is absolutely hysterical. And it does give a really good lesson, I think. This movie talks a lot about, about things not being what they seem and people being underestimated and not being allowed to pursue. There actually is a very healthy message to this film, and I think that's what makes this really good as a kid's film, because there's a lot to learn about the way society views you and the way that you move through society and how you let yourself get held back or other people will try to hold you back and how you have to be determined to follow your dreams no matter what. That is what this is actually about, believe it or not.
If I had my shot at the science fair, I'd have the greatest invention of all time.
An Igor inventing.
Animation is done by a company called Sparks. Now you've heard of Sparks. They've done a lot of other things. They are a Vietnamese animation studio. So they do have an interesting style. It's very unique to them. They were actually founded as Sparks Animation Studios in 1995. Other things you might have seen from them, Fallout 4, Deus Machina, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So a lot of video games, but they've also done other sort of animated features and shows as well. So the film is written by Chris McKenna, who was a writer on, among other things, Spider-Man Far From Home, No Way Home, and Homecoming. So, there you go with that. The film was directed by Tony Leondis, who was also a writer. Also worked in other capacities on Shrek and The Prince of Egypt. So we got a pretty decent pedigrees here behind the camera. So our score on the film, there's a couple different levels to that. The main score is done by Patrick Doyle. Patrick Doyle, who actually did the score for Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Gosford Park, a bunch of other stuff. This guy's got like 17 Lifetime Oscars for film composers. So, yes, that is your primary score. But there's a lot of really fun stuff in here. There's like some needle drops of like Louis Prima songs, which is why Louis Prima, I don't know. But it's so good, you guys. It just feeds the whimsy of the movie when these Loey Prima needle drops pop up. It's just great. It's just great. Nothing is particularly terrifying, like, at all. Even the moments where it is a little bit scary, because it does kind of amp up the pathos a bit towards the end of the film. But it never really crosses a line of absolutely terrifying. It is just on that right side, and everything is funny. Like I said, all the voice actors are so solid in this. The timing is so great. When we reach the culmination of the evil science fair, it's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I'm not gonna tell you about it because it's a spoiler. But this is a great film all around, I think, for kids, and it's smart enough for grown-ups. There's a couple jokes in there that here's your kid, here's the joke. There's even some like fourth wall breaks, which are great. Because it kind of goes between self-narration and POV and then just straightforward like a film, right? And not in a confusing way at all. The movie's really fun. It's really sweet. I think it does have a good message overall. So yes, I highly recommend Igor. You can find it on streaming and stuff. I think Netflix has it right now. It's not too hard to find, honestly.
And an unlikely hero.
Pull the switch! Switch! Switch!
So I guess that'll do it for me for this week. There is that subscribe button down here someplace. You want to hit that. You'll be able to get notifications as this series continues. We've still got a few more weeks of these to go, and I'll still be filming on different sets up here at Kim's Krypt Haunted Mill in Spring Grove, PA. I'll be finding different locations around the property. If you are in the area, this is a really fun place to be, you guys. There are 5 attractions, 2 escape rooms, a full midway with food trucks and wandering characters. This place is a really great time. So if you go to their website, which I'll have it right here, the website, Kim's Krypt with K's, kimskrypt.com, and you can buy all your promos and stuff in advance. I always tell everybody to buy in advance. Just saves you time on the grounds when you get here. Okay, I guess I will see you guys next week with my next selection in the Halloween series, and hopefully you'll join me. Bye!